Good morning. Welcome to Omnivue Pro Podcast. It's a lovely Monday. It's a lovely Wednesday this morning. And we're going to be jumping right in. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've been joining us for our previous podcasts. We've been going over the 4 C's of Control4. I believe we covered so far maximizing comfort, and we went over streamlining customization as well. We just want to hit all the different points of Control4 and what it enables for the customer in these short little videos, just to show you and make sure you're well informed what this can accomplish. So my name is Ben. I'm the project manager here at Omnivue Pro. We have a live studio audience of about 100. They're all laughing. You're all laughing right now behind their masks. That's why you can't hear them. So thank you all for joining us, all of you, so many. All right, so let's get right in. Why is centralization so important? And what I say by centralization is that Control4 is really a master controller of your whole home, and it has the ability to connect most any system you could even imagine. So I've got a few of them written down here. So you've got audio, video, any TV, speaker system, or TVs and speaker in tandem. So like your home theater setup, it can control every aspect, every source device, your Blu-ray player if you still have those. Control your thermostat. You can have the exact kind of control you want over your thermostat as far as different climates throughout the day. Controls security cameras. You can open and view your cameras from anywhere in the world. There's that capability. Controls security alarms. You can tie those in as well. You can arm and disarm and all that good stuff. Anything that you would be able to do at the device, you can do from Control4. Smart locks. So any sort of access control, whether it's your front door or even your car gate. If you have like an automated car gate in front of your driveway, this is a little more technical, but it has the ability to trigger an event at any sort of open-close relay. So there's a lot of devices that might have relays attached to them. If they're tripped, then a certain event will happen. So that really opens up. We'll get more into that down the line about exactly what you can have that do for you, but it can work with just relay contacts as well. Fireplaces, irrigation, a whole lot more. If you call now for 3 monthly installments of $19.95. No laugh? Very cool. Just leave me hanging here. All right. But the most important thing about going through all of the devices that you can control and all the systems you can control is pretty much you don't want 50 remotes in your house. That's one of the biggest selling points for Control4, is that you can get all those controls that you're always losing, all those remote controls, and you can gather them up and put them in a basket and burn them if you like. Probably don't do that, but you don't need them anymore because you have all you control from your phone, from a very fancy touchscreen on the wall, even from one Control4 remote. We also do have a remote controller if you're retro like that and you still like the feel of a remote control in your hand. So that's one of the biggest deals. And the reason this hasn't really been a thing in the technological world until recently was because every device is controlled by a different infrared code. So your remote control sends out an infrared signal, and it's a specific code specific to that device and that brand. And so what Control4 is able to do is use a wide database of infrared codes or even IP control over the network and control everything. The database is extremely extensive, and there are literally thousands of products and brands that Control4 has been programmed to be able to control. So this has been a long time in the process. Control4's team has done an excellent job to really accommodate any space, any home or business, and tech as far back as 15 years old can be controlled as well. And then when we were talking about customization and comfort, we got a little bit into scenes, macro scenes. Those aren't really possible unless you're able to control all of your systems from a centralized location. So to enact a whole scene and a whole mood from one command is only really possible if you have centralized control. This person, John Doe, we'll give him a name, John Doe. He had a home theater. He had dispersed audio throughout his house, so that's your built-in speakers in your ceiling. He had TVs in just about every room. It was a large house. The guy does very well. He had different types of lighting. So there were lighting fixtures, and then there was like, you know, those hidden rope lights like cove lighting, cans, all kinds of different lighting setups. He had security cameras. He had alarms. Don't believe he had any smart locks, but he had a whole lot of the main line products that we like to work with. So before we showed up, like I was saying, he had I believe 5 remotes in his home theater, and they were for all his different devices. Also, all those devices were in the room in the home theater, sort of cluttering the space. So that's something that I'll explain that we can get rid of in a minute as well. So he had all the devices in the home theater. He had all the remotes for each device, lined up very nicely. He was a neat person, but you know, you can't guarantee that you're not going to lose one eventually. He had a way to view his security cameras from his computer in his office and nothing else. You had to go to the alarm panel on the wall to arm or disarm, and that was only able to be done at his house. His audio, he had an app on his phone for his audio, but all that would really do was control the dispersed audio in his house and nothing else. I believe that's about it for the products that he had. But also at every TV, he had a remote for the TV and a remote for, I believe Apple TV is what he was using at every TV. And he had the device there at the TV. So without getting too extensive, what we were able to do was come in and not only eliminate the remotes, but we built him an equipment rack, which is like 8 feet tall. It had all his devices brought into the equipment rack, and we were able to run wire to where his endpoints were, so his TVs or his home theater. We brought the video signal from the device that was nice and neat in a closet in the equipment rack. The video feed went through a wire to the home theater or to the TV, and it arrived at the TV. There was no device there cluttering anything. It was just the TV, power, and then this wire coming in bringing media. It's very streamlined and looked very nice. And then because the Apple TV or the Blu-ray player, whatever the source was in the equipment rack with the Control4 controller, we had a little IR, which is infrared emitter, comes off and attaches right to the front of the Apple TV, which is in that rack, and it emits the right frequency to be controlled. So anytime you hit a command on your phone for whatever TV room you're in, that Control4 controller would instantly send the signal to the Apple TV in the same location, and you get exactly what you want, 50 feet away in the room. So that's something we haven't really talked about yet, but also we're able, in most circumstances, to really declutter your entertainment spaces. So that's been really cool to be able to do also. For his security cameras, he can now view those from his phone. I think I mentioned this before, but Control4, the control interface, either on your phone or on a touchscreen, is room-based. So our programmer is going to set up all of your rooms, and it's going to be customized exactly how you want to name them and what makes the best sense for how you want to control your home. So you might have your master bedroom, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, or names on those bedrooms, kitchen, common space, that sort of thing. And what you're going to do in Control4, and we'll have content coming up on this where you can see it hands-on, is that you go to that room and then you have all of your systems as icons in that room, and then you go into control those, whichever one you're trying to accomplish. So we had probably 10 or 12 rooms for this customer because he had a big place. But for the amount of things that we were controlling, the amount of space in his house and all the different devices, the way the Control4 breaks it down, 10 rooms was really not that much for what he was dealing with at his house. So that was a huge deal for him. He's a huge fan of Control4, and he's definitely very appreciative of just the extent of what we were able to accomplish in his house with Control4. So it's very powerful. We were lucky enough to get in during new construction. His place was just being built. So running the wire when the walls are wide open, the ceiling's wide open is obviously preferable. It's a lot easier to do our work. We don't have to, we can cut down on labor charge because everything is just a lot quicker. So that's very preferable. So if you're building a home, I would encourage you to get on this like quickly, because whoever you hire to do your job is gonna it's gonna appreciate your wide open walls. Sorry, something in my throat is. Excuse me. The company that you hire is gonna really appreciate that work, and it's gonna save you on labor charge. Otherwise, we're able to do retrofit. We can run wire through attic spaces, down walls. We do it. We have done it. It's no problem. So either way, we can get you what you need. That's a matter of weeks, based on, it's case to case. The size of the house, the state of the house, accessibility, and that's all decided in a consultation, of course. We have all the tools and the means to track cables and to make sense of a bird's nest of wiring. Some people have that in their home where you got a million different colors and a million different wires, and you don't even know what to plug in because you don't know where anything goes. So definitely one of our working standards is when we get onto a site, we make sense of this site, not just for us. We don't have some code that we label. We make legible and sensible labels, so that even if you're having a problem as a homeowner and you see, oh well, the wire that was labeled home theater isn't plugged in. Well, that's easy enough for me to just, you don't have to call us because the wire was labeled AC 1025. That doesn't make any sense, So we want to make common sense of the whole job, trace the cables, see where they go, and uninstall anything that is just really a distraction and is not going to be able to be used for anything. So yeah, that's part of our structured cabling. Before we come in and do our work, they feel just like you, or just like you. This is life, You just have this many remotes. It's what you do. You just go to the trouble of getting up from the couch and turning that on, or changing that temperature, or arming, or locking, or you just do all that because that's what we've been doing ever since those things were invented. Now, people can't imagine going back to their life before automation. It becomes such an extension of your lifestyle that it really clears out a lot of clutter on your mind, things that you don't have to be really thinking about anymore and worrying yourself with micro tasks. That is what it creates in a customer. It is really just a new level of ease that they didn't really think was available. And talk to anybody that has automation, they don't go back. So it really becomes the new normal. But beforehand, you don't necessarily feel like you're lacking anything because you haven't seen what's available necessarily. Well, you don't have to be tech savvy. We get tech savvy so that you can just have a super easy control. You have to be more tech savvy to not have automation, actually. That's the point of automation, is to do the smart stuff so that the people that have all the systems don't have to be the smart ones. They don't have to be knowledgeable on things that they need not be knowledgeable about. The automation does the heavy lifting. So even for a business owner, it's very relieving to a business owner to see how automation can help a staff be better at their jobs. So there's a luxury apartment complex that we service, and they have Control 4 set up for the staff mainly, but is also beneficial to the residents that live there. And this is sort of like a 5-star luxury apartment complex. So they have a Control 4 controlled home theater. They have an iPad on the wall where the residents can come in and have full control of whatever on the theater. That's really a lot off the backs of the staff to have to provide a resident with some sort of control piece every time a resident wants to use the home theater at all hours. The leasing office that has all these things only has open hours from about 9 to 5. That's not even prime time. So people that are wanting to come into the home theater, they're going to need something that is already set up there, ready to control the home theater when no staff is really available to get a remote control from or anything like that, or even an iPad that is they just hand over to them. This one's securely mounted on the wall, and the staff gets to just hands off the home theater and let the residents do what they will because they can. Also, there's dispersed audio in all the common spaces and security. So the staff has really enjoyed just being able to, actually they have a scheduled music scene which comes on in the morning. It plays some music in the background, slightly upbeat. It kind of is a good mood for the space, and that's what they've decided on. And so when you walk in and you see these systems at work, it's sort of subconsciously you know you're in a fancy area, not just from the decor and all that. It's a well-run, well-oiled machine, and that's something we were able to accomplish through automation for them, and they're very pleased. Like I've been saying before, there are thousands of different devices and situations that Control4 can be used. So chances are you have a way to implement Control4 and feel the benefit of it. We would be able to tell you that in a consultation. We would love to visit your space and tell you exactly just the optimal setup for you. Should be a link somewhere below or above or right over my face. Chris might do that. But yeah, we'll be able to answer all those questions when we visit your home, visit your business, and can give you the rundown on exactly what's possible. And I think it will surprise you. Thank you for joining us. Like and subscribe, please. We're going to be talking next week about control. This is the final C of Control4, is taking control. Click the link if you have any questions. We would love to come out and take a look at your space and just tell you what we think about your space and what would benefit you the most as a homeowner or a business owner. Look forward to seeing you next week, and if we don't see you, have a Merry Christmas.